couple of people. There was two ladies wearing just pasties.
Yes.
Big fan of the pasties.
Brave.
Uh-huh.
Big fan of the pasties.
Wasn't mad. They shot a cannonball yesterday.
Yep.
I believe we did an episode on that, free the nipple.
Free the nipple. Yes, we did.
Although pasties is still kind of like caging
Still
the
covering.
nipple.
Yeah. Not really in the spirit of freeing the nipple if you're pastying it down.
Yeah, I wouldn't say those nipples are totally free.
Right. They're semi-adjacent free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freedom adjacent.
Freedom on the way.
Yeah, freedom adjacent. Depending how sweaty you are.
All right, Ed, let's do it. Welcome to the Sofa Kingdom podcast with your hosts, Nelson, Ian,
Ed.
and our special guest today,
Sierra. Again.
You frequent the podcast every now and then.
Yeah.
You know who I am.
Never get time.
Yes. Whenever we need to be set in our ways from a female perspective, we can always count on Margot, Dana, and Sierra.
Right, yes. One of them will make an appearance.
Yes.
No shyness of saying what I really feel.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice to get unfiltered female opinion every now and then.
Yes, besides Eddie's.
Despite how wrong it is.
I do what I can.
Besides Eddie's.
Shit, we said too many bad things.
Yeah. No, so we were discussing pre-podcast some of the Renaissance Fair ridiculousness. Love getting dressed up in costume. Love
Good time.
other
A
people
lot of
get
fun.
dressed up in costume.
Mm-hmm.
And we did see full armor.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bold move at the Florida Ren Fair.
It was.
It's hot.
Yeah.
There was
Shining out
full
there.
armor, and then there was complete lack of armor as
Yes.
well.
Well,
Hey,
wearing
everybody-
all the armor is one go way of losing like 10 pounds in the day.
Hey, everybody's got to build, Everybody's got to build, Some people like to, load up, tank it up, and then some people like just, hey, two-handed
minimum.
weapon, underwear, that's it.
We didn't see any
Shirtless.
furries either.
No,
And I
no
think
furries this weekend.
It's indicative of it's too goddamn hot to wear a full-on furry costume to the Ren Fest. Even nights. That's pushing it.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
gets very, very hot very quickly.
Yeah, you need to definitely tailor your outfit to make it more breathable.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
especially depending on
The
the state
fabrics.
you're in.
Yeah. I mean, even I am leaning on putting some fur. I'm going to see how regrettable this is going to be. When I get there, I'm kind of tailoring my outfit around breathability, comfort, but also you want a Viking aesthetic.
Well, right, but you can also get some leeway depending on how much you hydrate. I mean,
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
there's levels to how far you can push it before
I mean,
die.
Ian can go full shirtless. I cannot.
You can.
There's
You
levels.
can.
No.
You can,
Let's be
man.
fair. There's levels to this shit.
Listen, man.
Whoever said the Vikings were
Listen, man,
shredded.
Vikings-
They
Yeah.
never had a gym.
Exactly.
They were lifting
They were
rocks
big,
and
burly
boulders.
guys.
Let's be honest. Let's
Come
be
on.
honest. Harold Sigurdsson is not the norm.
Historically
Vikings Valhalla.
accurate Thor. That's all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Watch play God of War. Play God of War Ragnarok whenever it comes out for the Xbox.
Right.
And look at the way Thor is built. And that everyone was all up in arms about that. They're like, oh, look at the way. That's the way a fucking Viking would have built.
They don't have a gym.
Yeah. He would have been a big guy with a fucking belly. He wouldn't have gave a fuck about abs.
He would have been more like Eddie Hall. Is his name?
Yes.
Eddie Hall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, when you think about
he just
it-
jumps off the boat and fucking kills you. He doesn't have to be fucking ripped.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the six pack on that guy. Throws an axe and kills
And
him.
it's not
Who
ideal for
cares?
that cold weather either.
Yeah.
You
No.
gotta
True.
have some of that, like,
Listen,
A little girth.
Yeah.
all of
keep you
those
warm.
world's strongest men come out of those cold ass climates for a
Count the
big.
six
reason.
packs. Count the six packs on those guys.
This is
Very
true.
few.
You know what? Too.
Big shoulders, big chest, big old gut. Fucking built for strength.
I can't help it. Like when I'm building a costume, like when I'm building my Mandalorian, it's all Star Wars. It's all Mandalorian. That's all I'm watching. So the last 2 days, I've just been watching Viking shows. I started Vikings season 1 all over again.
Just to get a feel.
I got to know what I'm looking at, get the aesthetic. I watched The Northman. It was an odd movie.
Yes,
It
it
is.
is. It is. And I told you that going into it.
It wasn't
you need to
bad,
prep for it.
but it definitely could have been better. Could have been worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
There were parts of it that I liked enough to keep me in the movie.
It's probably better when you're on drugs.
yeah.
But
I
I
So
feel
haven't
next
done
time
it
you
yet.
watch it, we're gonna be high.
I
Yeah.
haven't done it yet. I haven't done it
But I
yet.
felt like they could have told the story a little bit differently, and it probably would have been more pleasing to more people.
And that's the thing. That's what I like about Robert Eggers is when he makes a movie, he's like, all right, I'm doing the movie The Witch. I'm literally doing a movie with everyone in the movie is going to be like a 1700s. Like there's no,
Yeah.
like Anna Taylor-Joy. There was nothing that tied her to like the Queen's Gambit. No.
Yeah.
You were looking at a woman who 1600s just got kicked out of like a town in New England and now is living in the forest. It's like,
Yeah.
Damn, they went in on
but
that.
still
like,
manages to be hot.
yes, big eyes, but
Right?
hot. Yeah,
Yeah, it's all
hot,
right.
hot in like a big
I'll
spaced
play
out eye.
chess.
Kinda
I'll
way.
play some
Yeah,
chess.
exactly. Yeah. Well, shit. She's
Okay, so she's pretty,
decent.
though.
She's also in everything now.
Yeah, but you know
Everything
what?
that comes out.
That
she's in it.
menu, the menu.
Yeah, yeah.
But
she's
she's a good actress.
She
So
was
that's
in
what
a,
it
she was
is.
in a horror movie that just came out on HBO called The Menu. It's got some
Haven't
twists
seen
and
it.
turns in it. It's good.
It's-
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
once you get that first movie, you got to ride that fame train until it falls off the tracks.
That's
yeah,
true.
Make it
but
as long as
she
you can.
started showing up in everything, man. She
Generally
was-
speaking, once it hits the end, you're out and somebody else is taking your place, especially
Yeah.
for female actresses.
Well, I mean, you get
Yeah.
some people like look at Brad Pitt. He's in all these movies still.
yeah, he is. Well, he's also like
yeah, but
Hollywood royalty.
Yeah,
how many?
but-
The
That
thing
man-
is,
that
how
man's
many?
attractive as
How many
hell.
female actresses last as long as the male actors?
There are lasting
You got a
longer
point. You got a
now.
point. You got a point.
I mean, think about it. What's that lady's name? The really old lady that's in everything. She's in Shazam now.
Oh,
Helen Mirren.
Helen Mirren, right? Right. She's definitely past the norm. Another actress, Winona Ryder.
Yeah,
She's
Well,
still-
she
she's
made
still
a
in
she
that?
made a
Yep.
resurgence.
Yeah.
Stranger Things kind
yeah,
of.
but she was gone for a while until
They just kinda brought her back.
it started becoming a thing of, hey, why aren't you hiring female actresses for the ages of the characters versus hiring people that are like 10 years younger and
Right.
aging them up?
Well-
so that's when they started coming back.
Winona
That's
Ryder-
not
Winona-
that's a new thing.
They
Winona
do the same
Ryder had
thing
to
for
go-
like
she
high
had to go
schoolers,
away
and it's
for
like
a
these are
while.
college players.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
Jesus Christ, Dawson's Creek, everybody was like 30 years old playing
I'll be
15-year-olds.
there.
Yeah. It's like, this is not what they look like in high school.
And the only people close to the appropriate age,
It was a good show.
It
It
was
was,
the
good, it was a
women-
good show.
when that
and
music
all the
started,
guys were way too old for what they were
Yeah,
playing.
but you know what? Here's the thing. You can't watch a show about kids in high school doing the things that they were doing in those kinds of shows and being their actual
Cool.
age.
James
Because then
Vanderbeek
it's just
looked like he was
fucking
38.
creepy.
It's the same thing I say about anime.
Yeah.
Make them in college. It doesn't change it all that much to just say, hey, they're 3 or 4 years older, and we don't have to worry about why are we doing this with children.
Thank you so much. Can we have one fucking anime that's not in high school, please? Just make the like
Middle
make the
school?
kid, yeah.
Yes.
Even the,
She
yeah.
said middle school? No, we're not
are.
going down. We're not going back.
No,
down.
no, there's a
Up,
lot in middle
forward.
school and like there's nothing.
There's nothing. It's high school. It's battle royale high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Demon high school. I'm
yeah.
like, fucking go to college. There's no one in
Yeah,
go to college.
other than the one anime that's a grade school kid that's been running for 50 years, it's always high school. Always high school.
Case closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mystery
and,
one.
and even that, he's like somebody in a child's body. So technically, even then, he's not a child.
There's very few things that when I see it, and Sierra can attest to this. If I see it in the anime, I won't look at it. Someone will be like, "This anime is great," and they'll start to explain it. One is if it's like another high school thing, it's like probably won't get into it. And if it's like transported to a video game,
It's like,
world.
hi? Everything
Yes.
everything
If I
is a
see
female.
that,
It's like,
Wait, are you
I'm
talking
done.
about Sword Art Online?
Yes. Yes.
Are you talking about Sword Art?
Listen, man.
It's not
When
that bad.
Hey, when Sword Art Online's not. When Hack.Sign came out and Sword Art Online when they first came out, okay, cool, got it.
Right.
Now
Now they're
every
overdoing it. It's
fucking
every
anime.
single one
Yes.
you
Every
look
other
at.
one.
They knew
Man wakes
standard-
up.
Yes.
No, you go on Crunchyroll and you look at every single one, and it's like another world. Wakes up in another world.
Wakes
They're
up in another
traveled to
world.
this other place.
Falls
Like,
asleep at the
no.
computer, wakes
And-
up with his dick in his hand in another world.
And-
I'm like, come
Fair
on.
enough. Fair enough.
And
I mean,
item-
if you're gonna wake up in another world, that is the preferred method.
And it's very much like half of them are like the person wakes up
If you say so.
and they got like god level powers.
Oh, I do.
Yes.
Oh, I do.
And they're trying to
Overlord.
hide.
Overlord.
They're trying to hide that they got god level powers
Yes.
for some reason.
It's not a good formula. It's not a good formula. It's not.
We are ridiculous children.
I mean,
Vox Machina.
you don't want to talk about the
Yes.
one where the person comes back as like a refrigerator in an
No,
anime.
no,
we don't.
no,
we want to
my
skip this
God.
one and go to
I
the
was
next one.
reincarnated as a slime.
Yes.
Yeah, come on, man. Like,
No. Listen, I am loving Vox Machina.
Oh my God, it's
this
so
season.
good.
It's much better than
I only
the
have
first
one
season.
gripe. One gripe.
It's not a spoiler.
I need more episodes. Like they dropped three
at
and
a
then
time.
like Grog, no spoiler, but no spoiler. I won't say what happened. They ended it with Grog getting to a pivotal point in the cartoon, and
Yeah.
I'm like, yes. And then they're like, see you
No.
next week.
Yep.
Like,
Well, that's what keeps you hooked
It's
and
good,
keeps you
though,
coming
yeah.
back
It
and
is,
watching
it is.
But then again, if they dropped all of them, we would have watched it in a day.
Yeah.
But apparently
Oh,
they
for
did.
sure.
They did sign the Critical Role crew not just for more Vox Machina, but I believe for other stories and other
Good.
projects.
I'm in. If they do it like
So-
this, I'm in.
They're trying to bring them in as like their D&D style fantasy stuff, which is on point because after years and years of being on YouTube and getting millions of people watching, you think somebody would have finally done something. And, you know, they're just like Netflix keeps trying to keep their talent and keep using the same 10 people in all their shows.
They got rid of Wednesday real quick. Wednesday was good, and Wednesday season 2 is going to be on Amazon Prime.
That was a lie.
I heard
Actually,
it's on Netflix.
It's coming
It's
to
staying?
Netflix. Yes,
I was going to say.
Because
I was like,
I read
why
the
would
same
you
article.
get rid of that?
That one
I read
did
the same
so
article
well.
that you did about them sending it to Amazon.
Yeah.
And then I looked deeper and it was just bullshit.
I was like,
they're
that was
keeping
that
it
was
in Netflix.
that was one of their hits. That was
Yeah.
one of their
Yeah.
biggest
Well,
hits
yeah.
of the whole
I
year.
made him watch it. He's like, I don't really want to watch this. And I was like, just try it. And he's
It's
like,
good.
okay, it's actually really good.
I ate my words. I was very glad. It's a good show. It's a very good
Sometimes this happens, right? We go in, we don't want to watch Firefly, and then everybody around us watch Firefly. They say it's the greatest show they've ever seen, and Ian still refuses to watch it.
Still haven't seen it either.
Oh, man.
At this point, it's just
You're
like,
basically Ian's doppelganger, so it
For-
doesn't really.
At this point, I can't watch it.
Here's how good the show is. For everything that the director, creator, the issues that he had that's got him removed from Hollywood,
What? What do you
people
do?
refuse to talk about that in regards to Firefly.
What did he do?
Oh, the same, like, he's kind of a bully on set. He's one of those, he was
Oh.
very particular, like, no. It's written this way. Do the thing that was written.
Wait,
So,
wait.
lot
James
of the-
Cameron?
A lot.
No. The taller than average Jim Carrey. No.
A lot of the people that complain about bullying on set.
I
you
haven't
can tell they
heard-
never played sports.
Yeah, I haven't heard any,
They're
like,
coached.
assault
No.
Yeah.
or any
just
allegations
an asshole.
or things
He
like
was just
that.
an asshole.
But he was just very much like, he was king on set,
He got
and he
the-
let you know what
He
needed
got
to be
the
done.
job done. He was
Correct.
basically like Serena Williams' father. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to yell at you. I'm going to make you guys do the work. But when you're done, like, wow, this is a great piece of work. He did
Angel,
Buffy,
Or to quote,
Buffy.
Angel, Firefly. A lot of my favorite shows were directed by this man.
Or to quote Daniel Tosh, you got to be like Joe Jackson. You got to beat your kid enough that he's great, but not enough that he touches kids.
You know what? All right.
He says Joe Jackson is proof that you can indeed beat your child to great.
Right.
The king of pop.
You know what? I think the world is a little too soft on being a little like there is a line, right? But it's okay to push your kids or push
Or
people
discipline.
to
Right.
get the job done right.
Yeah.
You know, I think there's a little bit of too softness in the world, but there is a fine line. You know
Right.
what I mean? You don't want to be too overbearing.
Everyone's tiptoeing around everything nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, discipline's disappearing.
And it's also hard to gauge how bad was it on set when you're talking to some of the actors and everything, and you realize, yes, well, these are people that someone wakes up, drives them to set, dresses them, feeds them, hands them their lines, puts them down for their nap,
Yeah.
wakes them back up for lunch,
Surrounded by yes
tells
men.
them where to stand.
Surrounded
Yeah.
by yes
There-
men.
But
there's
you know
a
what's-
there's
Used
a
to
level
getting their way.
there's a level of pampering because
Entitlement.
so often it used to be where the actor disappeared from set and your whole project shuts down if this one person is not there. So they had to make it where there's no reason for you to leave set.
Sure.
So now you have a person who the world is completely 1,000 people are catering all day long to them.
Tom Cruise.
Tropic
So
Thunder. Tropic Thunder.
so you do have
Tropic Thunder
to
shows
wonder
that.
how much pampering is going on, and then you go to a set where you're being treated like everybody else, perhaps,
yeah.
in a normal everyday job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, they're being mean to me.
Yeah, he probably said, "No, just put down your fucking coconut water from Thailand and get out there and film the goddamn scene." He probably said something along those lines. They can't handle it.
I mean,
They
it
can't
wasn't
handle
so
it.
bad that there's no like recordings or anything coming off set. I haven't
Right.
heard any of the
He was mean to me.
the
It's not-
camera
it's not- who gives a
operators,
shit?
nobody else or anything like that saying anything. So it's interesting, but the man is essentially gone from Hollywood for a while now.
Well, if you're gonna pay me millions of dollars, you can be fucking mean to me.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It kind of goes with the
I
territory.
can handle it.
Like, listen,
If
there's
I'm getting endorsements from the shirts sold from the TV show, you can be fucking mean to me.
it's like a good paying job, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Those guys need to go work for $25,000 a year at a fucking video store.
You're
And then come back to
making-
me. Come back to me and see how bad, how mean he
you're
was.
making good money. You got to expect the level of bullshitness to
Yeah.
like rise above the pay salary.
Yeah.
Put them
there.
in a
It's like,
customer service job and they'll really find out.
oh yeah, customer service, waiting on people, all that kind of stuff. But okay, back to Vox Machina.
Yeah, talk to that diver who just got his head bitten off by a Great White shark in California, diving for mollusks. Explain to him how that your boss was mean to you.
Yeah. What a dick.
Yeah, what a dick.
What a dick. So
Can't believe we made me do that.
Oh man. You can always dive for mollusks.
Vox Machina, please. All right, I have to tell you guys. I had to change who my favorite character is because of this season. Like, I still love Scanlan, right?
Yep.
I think he's a great character, and they're showing a little more dynamic
I'm a Percy guy.
to him. Vax, I believe.
Okay.
Vax is the guy.
Yeah, man, I like his new story arc. He was always kind of like a stoic character.
The Nightingale armor from Skyrim.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
but now he's also fighting this, like, he's basically like death.
He's touched by
champion.
death. Yeah.
You
Inner
know?
demon.
Yeah, so I'm liking that vibe. I like the whole, like, he's kind of brooding.
Well, they kind of
Punch
took it
Percy.
in from Percy to him.
Yes,
So they just
they
kind of
did.
switched characters where
Percy
he
is
had
very,
his own demon.
very happy this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a totally different person.
He's a little too happy.
He's in a much better mental space, it seems.
Yeah, but his
I still love
gadgets
him.
don't work the same. Like,
This is
this is
true.
where I'm mad at. Like, you're the gadget guy and your shit ain't working. Get your life together,
Well,
bro.
he needs another
he keeps like hitting his
demon
stuff. He's like, why isn't it
Yeah.
working?
to come along and tell him the next gadget to build.
Yeah.
He needs the evil lady to tell him to come what gadget to build.
Percy needs demons in his life.
What about you? Your favorite character this season?
I love Percy. I still love him. I know his shit's malfunctioning. You know, he's kind of downed. He's lessened his importance this season.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't have the evil
a
like
lot
working
happier.
through him.
He gets humbled a lot this season. He keeps
He
trying
does.
to be like, I am royalty. I'll take care of it. And they're like,
Oh, yeah.
beat it,
Or
bitch.
he's like, I
Count
know what I'm
Dorolo
talking
III,
about. And
yeah.
he's like, we've been going in circles.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, do you know what
He's
that
like-
is? No.
I like that. I like that. That weird
Oh.
satyr that was drawn.
Yeah.
with pictures.
What
Yes.
was his name?
It's like, why
Drew
do I have,
Percy with 3
Garmagelli or
dicks.
something
That's
like
so
that?
great.
why do I have 3 penile?
I know, what else did he die?
Bro, you guys say dicks ass the whole season, and all of a sudden you have penile.
That's Percy. That's Percy. That's the way Percy is.
I just don't know who he transformed to in the end there.
That's what I was
Clearly,
thinking.
he's
It looked like,
like
someone that was related to, what's her name?
An elf?
Well, no. What, it's
Oh, the
ginger
girl
with her,
that
yeah.
turned into fire.
Yeah.
Mm.
What's I can't remember her name.
some kind of elemental thing.
But it looks
Keyleth.
Keyleth. It looks like someone who's related to her because it looks like one of
Could
her,
be.
maybe like an aunt or something.
Yeah.
Like
Because she can
It looks
travel
similar to
through
the mom.
planes, and that being
Yeah.
seemed to be able to transport themselves through planes
Yeah.
and shapeshift. She
Yeah.
can shapeshift.
Yeah.
because when they
Shapeshift
showed the
as well.
video, like the back time track of the mom, it looks kind of similar.
Yeah. Power wise, though, he seemed like he's powerful enough that he's just bored with the normal world, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of those like Q type characters.
Yes.
Like I can intervene, I could stop this, but it's not my job anymore.
Like he said, I've actually been entertained for the first time in a millennia.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. What about you, Sierra? Who's your favorite character this season?
Oh, Vex still.
Vex. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Archer
Yeah, she's a good character.
and still a badass. So
You like Trinket.
Yeah. Yeah, Trinket.
Trinket.
bear. Of course, I like the bear.
So you like
Everybody likes
hairy
Trinket.
butts, is what you're saying?
No,
Everybody likes Trinket.
she literally holds him like. I mean,
He's like, I shave.
I wish I could have a pet bear. That'd be pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's all fun and games till the bear doesn't want to be.
Until right.
And you suck it back into the gem and you say, sit down and be quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, like Siegfried and Roy, right? They
Yeah.
wanted tigers.
Yeah.
We got tigers until the tiger attacks.
Hey, speaking of Siegfried and Roy, how about that episode of Last of Us?
Jesus Christ.
Nelson was a big fan of that one.
No, I wasn't.
Oh, man.
No, I wasn't.
Nelson was actually texting me during the episode saying this is the greatest episode of television in the last 10 years.
I did not do that at all.
He was in tears. It brought
What
him
they
to tears.
did was they murdered an American hero, Ron Swanson. How the fuck are you gonna do? Like that man.
I loved it.
Here's the whole thing.
I
At
loved
the end
it.
of that episode, he should have went out in a blaze of glory, or they should have let the motherfucker die on the table. He's
probably still
protecting
alive.
his mate. He's out there. He's shooting guns. He's
probably
setting on
still alive.
fire. Of course he is. He's
we
an
never,
actor.
we never saw a body. We never saw a body. We never did.
They confirmed it.
In the game,
We
he's
didn't
alive
see.
though. They could have differed, but in the game, he's still alive.
I don't know if Ron Swanson's coming
Yeah,
back
no.
for a second scene.
They already said
What's he
it was-
gonna make out with the corpse.
They already
Yes.
said it was a bottle episode, so I don't know. I doubt
Right,
they're
like
going to bring him
like
back.
a standalone episode.
They just brought him in to make out with a dude and
Make a
sent him
story
home.
about it.
Essentially, yeah.
Damn.
Poor Ron Swanson. You could have stayed home,
It was a
built
good
yourself some
episode.
furniture.
It was a good episode. It didn't do much
Was
to
it,
further the
though?
plot. It didn't do much to
Was
further
it,
the plot.
though?
I liked it.
I thought it was fan service in the worst way. It really. There was only 15 minutes of the hour and 15 minutes of that show that actually moved the plot line along. The rest of the movie was the rest of the show was a love story that I didn't want to watch. Right? If I'm watching a love movie or a romance or a rom-com, I know what I'm getting in for. If I'm watching zombies, I want to see some zombie shit.
It surprised you, didn't it?
I don't want to detour for an hour. I don't want to detour for an hour sitting there in my living room like, what are we watching?
I knew what it was going to be. As soon as
What's
as soon as
going
he fell
on
into
here?
the pit. As soon as he fell into the pit and he walked out and the way they looked at each other, I was like, oh,
He called it. He's like, it's just
These
gonna
guys
be
are
some
gonna
like
fuck.
romance.
Yeah, I was like, I knew it. I know what this is going to be. It's going to be some hot man love.
No.
I was like, strap myself in.
Listen,
It's going to be good.
if you want to watch a show that has a lot of everybody loving everybody kind of a vibe, Sense8 on Netflix. Show is amazing.
Sense8.
Yeah. It really has this focus on they don't really have superpowers except that they can learn each other's skills through their mind. So like whatever, if you're a crook, I have all your crook skills. If you're a martial artist, you're a paramedic, you're a cop, I can tap into you. You can essentially come into my body and take over for me for a while. And these 8 people have each other in their kind of like group and they can work within each other's skill set. So they all come to this point in their life, in their journey, where it's like, oh, like man on man, girl on girl, man on man, man on girl, girl
man.
on man, like.
Notice
And
how
then
we're only
all of
saying
them,
two.
and then all of them all together in one big orgy in one episode. But it didn't feel forced, and it was dope because the show kind of it made sense.
So you're saying I
It
could
moved the story along.
So you're saying I could have jumped into Ron Swanson's body while he was making out with that guy? Okay.
There's nothing stopping you right now.
I like that premise.
The future of VR.
Yeah, I just if I'm gonna spend time
coming.
watching a show,
It's coming.
keep the story moving along. That's
Well, the new episode's tonight, so we're gonna see what happens.
I
We're
quit.
gonna see, you know,
I'm done.
He's like,
done?
give it a shot.
you're done with the best show on television.
Boom.
You're stepping away.
Listen,
His
it's
favorite
bad
character died, and then he had a whole third episode
That's right.
bottle episode. He's like, I'm it. That's
enough.
it.
I have a hole in my heart. They killed the girl off too quickly.
Which one, Tess?
Tess, I
she-
loved her character.
She
She
goes
was
to the game
badass.
too, man.
And then they killed her off so quickly.
Spoiler alert.
I knew she was dying pretty quick because I know the game focuses on just him and the girl.
Right.
So she wasn't gonna last
She don't make
long.
it in the
She's
game.
a
In the
main
game, I know
character.
that she don't make it out of Boston. So
Yeah.
No.
I mean, she's not on
I'm
the
done.
cover of the game. She ain't making it.
They lost me. Episode 3, I'm out.
I'll fill you in on how it goes.
You don't have to.
It's okay. He still will.
Yeah, he probably will.
I can't wait for the gay episode of The Mandalorian. I can't wait.
After all that money you spent on
and
the
it'll be a
Mandalorian.
musical.
That's why I
It'll
made
be
my...
this guy in a Loki Mandalorian start just getting railed.
You know, see, look, here's the thing.
And Nelson, you're on TV.
Vox Machina, they sing in it, right?
Right.
I don't even get mad. The songs are kind of catchy. I'm like, you know what? They're pretty goddamn good.
Wasn't there a country one?
It was good.
There was a country song.
I was
one
in.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were carrying Grog through the woods. Yeah, it was a country song.
Oh,
he
yeah.
made the Sphinx
All the-
cry.
Yeah.
I cried too.
That was good. That was a good fucking twist. Because like you couldn't physically hurt the Sphinx.
Right.
You had to break his heart.
I thought it was
You had
dope.
to break his heart.
I thought it was dope. But it moved the plot line along.
He
It
called
made sense
Scanlan
for
the wisest
character.
sage he has ever been.
Yeah.
And everyone's
Direct
looking at him
quote.
like, what?
Yeah, Sage is, Scanlan is falling in love with Pike there too, right?
They were kind of leaning at
Yeah.
that in the first season, but like
Yeah.
they never came out and like, you know.
Well, I think the seriousness, he couldn't take anything seriously, so they didn't
I
really.
mean, I think if you're like a gnome and you're traveling with another gnome, like, come on, man. It just matches up.
What you trying to say? If like I'm a Puerto Rican and I'm traveling with another Puerto Rican,
I'm just
there's
saying.
an
I'm
element.
just saying.
what are you trying to say, bro?
I
What
imagine,
are you trying to-
I imagine sexually that Pike is probably more comparable to Scanlan than fucking Grog. You know,
Well,
that's gonna be a
I
rough
don't
night
know.
out.
I don't know about all that.
Scanlan doesn't seem to make any quorums about who or what
He's
it
pretty
is.
ambiguous.
Man, no, Scanlan is open. He don't give a shit.
No.
He believes in loving
That's
everybody. Scanlan would have enjoyed episode.
And he
3
has
of
the
Last
ability
of
to
Us.
make larger than life hands, right? So I mean, I'm sure he can handle whatever size.
He did
dealing
blast that suppository up
He's
Grog's
done,
ass.
he's done hands.
Blasted
He goes,
it.
oh, I had experience with this. Let me take care of it.
He volunteered
Yeah.
for
Oh,
it.
yeah, he buried that.
Yeah.
He was whistling like there's
Yeah.
nothing new going on here.
They're like,
Yeah.
Pike, you better go outside.
He blasted that thing up his ass. That was insane. That was insane.
Did she ask for the Everlight to protect his anus? No. No, she did not.
No, she did not. So Quantumania comes out soon. What else is coming down the pipe? What
Oh,
else
we
is coming out?
got Quantumania. Looking forward to that. And Loki season 2, Mandalorian. The next season 3 coming out as well.
Yeah.
This month I believe is Mandalorian. So Loki.
Or is it early March? Which one is it?
There's a bunch of
March.
stuff coming soon.
It is March
Is
1st.
it March 1st?
Surprisingly, there hasn't been all that much announced this week, I would say. The only thing that was really this week was the big DCU announcement that James Gunn did.
A lot of things that people don't know about. I mean, like a lot of those movies and stuff he was talking about.
He
Beetle
is
Boy.
a fan of some very obscure shit. Like half of the stuff he announced, I'd never heard of.
Well, at this point, it's like, let him do it because y'all fucked up DC Universe.
Yes.
It's all over the place. You got all kinds of shit going wrong. And somehow they still hang on to Ezra Miller, but I don't know how.
Apparently,
I don't know why.
it sounds like it's one of his favorite movies.
One of the
'cause-
things
Wow.
he did lean into when he discussed the Flash movie
Am I going to watch this?
is that it resets the whole universe.
Yeah.
So like a Flashpoint.
So that's why they're figuring they can
It was
leave
supposed
this
to be a
alone.
Flashpoint movie.
So I have to watch this movie.
And he also said that he's going to he's gonna
have to watch
label
The Flash.
whether or
Ezra
not it's
Miller.
part of the actual universe or part of the extended universe.
Yeah.
So people know, hey, this is main DC and this is like
Well, right now-
Joaquin Phoenix Joker.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
everything going forward, even their animated stuff, they're going to start tying in all together.
That's a very good idea because DC has always owned the animated
They're
realm.
and I've said
Marvel,
it,
Marvel animated stuff
Yeah.
sucks.
and I've said it
compared.
before. All their
It
animated
does.
stuff is great. The issue is that none of it connects to each other.
Yeah.
The only stuff they ever really had that connected properly was their TV shows, which were great, but then they started cannibalizing their plots from their TV shows to do movies that they just shit the bed with.
Yeah.
Because some never came out and
That's a good
others
way
were
of
just
putting it.
awful.
Yeah.
Or once you got past like season 3 of something, it just started going down the
started
rabbit
falling
hole. And
Well,
it was,
Yeah.
Doom
they
Patrol,
didn't
not
follow
Doom Patrol.
anything.
Too much
Doom
pandering
Patrol
instead of
fell
just
apart.
sticking to the script.
Titans had me up
They
until I
should've
saw
stopped
that
after season
CGI.
3 and just left it at that.
What the fuck was
For
it?
a majority of them.
Trigon.
Yeah.
Oh my god, when they had that CGI Trigon step out of that house looking like a Ray Harryhausen project, I was
it
like,
was
I'm
pretty
done.
bad.
I'm out.
But the
That's
rest
the
of the
most
show-
powerful guy in the universe. I'm out.
But the rest of the
I'm
show
out.
was pretty good. Like I really did like Titans.
They were too
besides
ambitious.
that
They were too
CGI Trigon.
Yeah, that
I can
CGI
say-
Trigon. That I was out. Like kind of like you, Last of Us episode 3. I was like, all right, I'm gonna head out.
Well, I mean,
So Ron Swanson is your Trigon.
Yes, Ron. There's the title of the movie. There's the title of this episode. Ron Swanson is my Trigon. There you go. Somehow mash those two
well,
characters.
it's
Yeah.
all resetting here soon. We got Shazam, then Flash, which is supposed to be a Flashpoint, which they're outright saying resets everything, and then it just goes into Blue Beetle, and then Aquaman 2,
Okay.
and
the
then
Amber Heard cut.
yeah, and then their big centerpiece that they're really using to
Dookie cut.
The Amber Heard
bring
edition.
everything together is a Superman movie.
Legacy.
Superman
Superman
Legacy.
Legacy.
Yes.
Which could be gay
And
Superman.
No.
They've been
Don't do
That'll be
it.
Nelson's new favorite movie.
They've been very specific.
won't.
I believe that the image is from All Star Superman is the one that they're using everywhere when they're talking about the Superman legacy. So it's a very
That's not
straight.
the one where he burns out, like with the exposure. Oh,
Yes.
wow. Oh,
yeah.
no.
So, but that's like a very like wholesome. This is what Superman is supposed to
Yes.
represent. Always hopeful. Always looking to
Yeah.
be
Wait
better.
a second. Is this a Superman loses his power Superman?
No,
No, he dies.
This
Like,
is a Superman
burns out from
becomes
exposure
like
to the sun.
becomes
Yeah.
like all powerful because
Yeah.
of overexposure to the sun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Fix them UV rays, people. You're killing Superman.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think they're
Too much
doing
sun.
Yeah.
that particular storyline. Like some of them, they announce particular comic run storylines, like they did with the Batman. They're going with the Damian Wayne for the Robin.
The
This
Brave
one,
and the Bold.
I think
Yep.
they're looking more tone wise is what Superman
Yeah.
they're trying to lean on, which is the very older style
Well, they said-
wholesome
Yeah.
Superman.
He said it's calling it.
1950s farmland.
Yeah,
Superman.
Correct.
He's calling it Of Monsters and Gods is their first section of DC that
Yeah.
they're tying into,
Yeah.
which we discussed in the past. Like, hey, DC, lean into your horror.
Yes.
It seems like James Gunn listens to the Sofa Kingdom podcast
Well,
because that is exactly what this man is doing.
Well, aren't they doing a Constantine too?
Yes.
With
I-
Keanu Reeves
I-
at the wheel.
They
He's-
might still.
yeah.
I don't know if they've announced that it's definitely still going because I don't. Was that announced after James Gunn or before?
I think it was during. So I don't know. It could
Yeah.
still be,
So,
it could
I
still
mean,
be in the air.
why wouldn't you want to work with Keanu Reeves? And that could be a separate from the DC universe
It could be. It could be in their Elseworlds,
standalone.
like they're doing with
I'm excited
Joker
for their,
and
I'm
Batman.
excited for their Swamp Thing horror thing that
Yes.
they're doing. That's
It
going to be
seems
good because Swamp Thing's a dark character.
It's supposed to be.
very dark.
Yeah, and
Unless you watch Harley Quinn, he's
he's
got his tentacles up in his
he's like a
he's
yoga
hippie
teacher.
with
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
with
got
a man
he's
bun.
got like a man
Yeah,
bun.
and he's banging Nora Freeze.
Yeah.
Think Swamp Thing wears zero shirts.
No, I'm not fucking Swamp Thing. I ain't vegan. I eat meat.
I would like to
I
see.
eat more meat than Ron Swanson. Wink, wink, wink.
So we got
I'm not touching that one.
we got we
You
got
sure you don't want to touch it?
No.
got wholesome Superman,
I'm right here.
and then they announced
Dying.
Lanterns as a TV show, not a movie.
Yes.
And they showed John and Hal,
Yeah, John Stewart, Hal Jordan.
Both Green
And-
Lanterns.
But-
both Green Lanterns, but one in the
picture
image.
depicts a yellow lantern.
ring.
And that was in their press release video where they were showing him as a Green Lantern, yellow versus a Green Lantern.
Are they going to fuse into like a gender fluid lantern
Well,
that
they-
will
they're-
fight Ezra Miller?
There are
I quit.
Come on, hang in there.
I quit.
Be progressive.
There are no gender fluid lanterns. There's red. They're colors. They're colors. Goddammit. Red,
Oh, man.
yellow,
yes,
Oh.
if you
Colors
put,
green, blue,
if you
black,
put a
white.
prism and makes a rainbow of colors, and all the lanterns represent this now.
Not my Hal
But
Jordan.
colors
Or,
can
how about
blend.
the rainbow lantern? It's coming.
So
coming.
anyway,
Yeah.
That's how painting works. You mix two colors to make another one.
But-
it looks very interesting, and I'd like to see if
Because they're leaning on True Detective as the way they want to try to
Yes.
make the story, where it's not just
he said it's
a
very
lantern
grounded
story.
on Earth.
It's a much more terrestrial. They're here. This is where they're
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be protecting Earth.
True Detective was a very underrated show.
Oh, it was, but the
That
first season
one-
was the best.
That
season.
first one on HBO with Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
My God, that one scene they shot where he's with the bikers, and they just went from like house to house while he was running from them. It was shot
Sons
in
of
one
Anarchy.
sequence. It was shot in one sequence. I was like, holy shit! Like
Those are two
Yeah.
actors that, when they're on point, you're hard pressed to find someone that could have done it better.
Yeah.
I honestly think that scene, that episode, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, he knows what True Blood or no, True Detective season 1. True Detective season 1. It's the episode where Matthew McConaughey joins the biker gang and then he has to get a guy out to question him.
Yeah.
That one scene is my favorite thing Matthew McConaughey's ever done. Ever.
Not his Chrysler commercials.
No, not the Lincoln. No.
the Lincoln Town.
No, but Jim Carrey's impression of it was fucking spot on.
Oh,
wait a
those were
second.
great.
Spot on.
Speaking
Those
of
were
That was
impressions,
spot
yes.
on.
did you guys see the Pedro Pascal as Mario
No.
on Saturday Night Live?
No, and
No.
I highly recommend everybody go to YouTube.
We'll
and
check it out after this. We'll check it out
SNL
after this.
Pedro Pascal as Mario.
They're leaning
Is it
more
good?
into doing like proper skits versus live sketches.
Yeah.
And this is one that
It's
they
masterful.
would have never been able to do with their old format.
Yeah.
But thank you to the Lonely Island guys for pushing them into the world of sketches
God bless them.
and not just the skits like they were doing. But
they're
it's fantastic.
with the times.
Their Michael Bolton Jack Sparrow skit is still one of the greatest.
Oh, what a
things I've ever
fantastic
seen.
song.
Yeah. When he just starts singing about all the movies he watches, it's the greatest damn
No,
thing ever.
Saturday Night Live, my favorite skit of all time is when they had the professional wrestlers from WWE come in and they paid them like it was like a product placement commercial where it's like, you want to quit smoking cigarettes? Hire a wrestler to live in your house. And every time you reach for a cigarette, they would like DDT you, Stone Cold Stunner, body slam you. Then you got like The Rock hitting on your wife in the corner, like, hey, what's up, man? He's like, hey, man.
Hey,
I thought
speaking
you
of
were here to,
that, is The Rock going to stick around for James Gunn DC Universe?
He did
Is
the
Black Adam
very
out? Is he in and out?
political. He's out.
Ah.
The Black Adam is out.
I think
But they said that they
Enjoy
left
a
it
nice glass of Tramana.
open-ended. Like, hey, I would like to come back if you guys want to invite me back. He did also make a play for, hey, if you guys don't want to do Shazam, the Black Adam the way that I want to do it, give me Black Adam. Give me the rights. I'll do my own thing on the side. So that might still be an open option for him.
they are leaning into leaving things with Elseworlds, which
Yeah.
is why they're still doing the Matt Reeves Batman and they're still doing the Joker, which are outside of the new DCU, but are still going
So
forward.
we're still going to get our Lady Gaga.
You're still
Joaquin
getting
Phoenix,
an awful musical.
Harley Quinn Joker
Congratulations.
musical. Yes!
You know what, James Gunn, of all the people to fire, you had Lady Gaga in the palm of your hands. All you had to do was fucking kick her out.
And
Although I could see Lady Gaga being a decent Harley Quinn. She's out there.
Yeah.
She wore a meat suit to the
Until
awards.
she starts
man.
singing. I ain't watching it.
I'm on the deep end.
Unless Scanlon shows up to sing some of the songs, I'm out.
Oh, come on, man. It could be good. It could be good.
It's a musical. If they would have said there will be music in the movie, I could do that. But in an entire movie singing from beginning to
I'm
end,
in.
I cannot tolerate this
I'm
shit.
in.
I hate
Yeah.
musicals.
I can't tolerate
I
it. I
hate-
just can't do
I
it.
hate-
the only thing I
It's
can
so
imagine
bad.
is
Ed,
like
help me out here.
No, he had me sit through one of them, and I was just like,
It's terrible, isn't it?
She didn't like Les Miserables.
Oh my god, who does?
One of the greatest musicals
okay,
of all
now you and
time.
I finally agree on something.
listen, if it's
It's like it's a classic.
That's just
You,
it's right
people
there.
don't like classics. What about?
Jesus.
No.
It's called art. It's culture. You fucking.
yeah, I mean, I don't know how
Ed,
much
help me out. You got the hat.
I don't know how much music they want to
He's
have
not
in
helping
it.
you out, bro.
No,
He's
I'm not.
ignoring
I'm not
you.
on the line of musicals. No.
Oh, come on. It's just me. It's just me on the couch.
Dana likes musicals.
Dana? Okay.
Eurovision is the only musical that I will watch.
Play Yo-Yo Ding Dong. Play Yo-Yo Ding Dong. He's going to play it.
I mean, I'm imagining that like it's musical because it's like the world is warped in his head, and we're seeing the world through his perspective.
Right.
But if they're singing from opening to closing, no,
Can't do
thank
it.
you.
On every single thing.
Listen, we've seen him rap before. We don't need to see him singing anymore. We're done. That's it.
I'd watch it if it was rapping.
I would not.
Rapping Joaquin Phoenix?
I would not.
Come on, bro.
I'd rather watch episode 3 of The Last of Us in a pool of baby oil.
I heard you already did.
You told him?
There's video footage.
Oh, fuck. Oh. Which we'll be uploading to SofaKingdom.com.
Next one was the
Behind
authority.
the paywall. Behind the paywall. You can't just throw that kind of
Yeah,
content out for
OnlyFans.
free, sir.
Uberloop. Uberloop. Uberloop sponsored it. We can't forget about our Uberloop
We
sponsorship.
skipped one thing, though, from James Gunn that I'm looking forward to. And I didn't think I would. It's the Waller movie.
Yes.
They want to do a
That-
Waller movie, but
I'm
they
into
said
that.
only because people from Peacemaker's World is going to be in there,
Yeah.
and that's what
Yes.
intrigued me.
She stayed consistent. The same woman from the first Suicide Squad movie
Yeah.
into the new one
Yeah.
and into the Peacemaker show has been
She
the same
does
actress.
the role justice.
Viola Davis?
Oh, she does.
She-
Oh, yeah.
Viola
Yeah.
Davis, yeah.
She's a badass and
Yeah.
very believable. The only thing that I didn't like is the way that he said, with people from the Peacemaker world. That doesn't
The Weasel.
necessarily mean
the
John
Weasel is so,
Cena.
the
No.
Weasel is
Weasel?
well.
that's what that.
they
that's
have
what
to
that
keep
means.
John Cena as
But-
Peacemaker.
No,
They
he's
have to.
saying as Peacemaker, but
Okay.
I think what they're doing is it's going to be the supporting cast. The agents that he was working with are probably
Not
the people
necessarily.
that are going to be in the Waller show.
I just pray for Netflix to fire everybody associated with The Witcher and bring Henry back. I'm praying for that. Like, I'm praying for it. Just give Liam some severance pay. Here's $10 million. Thank you. You almost showed up. Thanks.
Yeah.
Like,
But
No, no,
nothing.
so here's the
agree.
thing: no
thank you,
executive is
yeah.
ever going to admit that they were wrong,
but they're
and,
wrong.
and go back.
They're wrong.
Okay, well, they're going to end up
too bad.
spending like all
Not
that money,
true.
and everyone's going to hate
Domino's
it.
apologized to all of us.
For what?
Remember? Back
What
there
they
was
do?
like a whole thing where like 2 or 3 years ago, Domino's was like, "We're sorry, we didn't listen to you," and they there was a whole campaign how they changed their recipe.
BP
and they were
apologized.
doing better.
When they destroyed the Gulf
I mean,
of
they
Mexico.
better. They're killing millions of animals in the ocean,
Yeah.
spilling oil everywhere.
South
Like,
Park did an episode on it. It was like the oil
a
executive
small
laying on a
sorry.
rug in front of the fire. He was like, "We're sorry."
you know,
We're sorry.
Speaking of South Park, right? And shows like South Park, that's a way that for the last 10 years, we've been getting away with doing the most horrendous, but also hilarious
Yep.
comedy. Like on Family Guy, South Park, shows like that where a normal show won't touch it.
Their
In
grandfather
cartoon form, they get away with saying
Mr.
whatever
Pickles.
the
Yeah,
fuck
Family
they want.
Family
Yeah.
Guy and South Park push the narrative. They
Yeah.
push it. They always have.
and they get away with it regularly.
Yeah.
And I think more people should follow suit. Like, we have to laugh at ourselves. We have to be realistic. Like, some things are funny, some things are horrible, and that's just life. Like, I think people take themselves too seriously.
Yep.
That's where people get offended too much.
Well, they got death threats. I mean, I know I've mentioned it on the show before, but when Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they made an episode about the Prophet Muhammad, and they received threats from Al Qaeda,
Yeah.
and they were like, "Fuck you, we're doing the show."
Yeah.
Yep.
They had Barbara Streisand as Mechagodzilla fighting Muhammad. I was like, they did it.
Fucking great.
They did it. They didn't care. They
What-
aired it. They said, "No, we're doing it."
What about Kim Jong-il and that one?
Oh, they did Team America World Police.
No, not
He was
not
a
Team
bad- he was a
America.
puppet.
The movie
No,
where
they-
Oh, fuck it, the guy that's banned now.
The interview.
The interview, yeah.
Seth Rogen and
Yeah.
Fucking great.
why can't I think of his name? Oh my God. He
James
was in
Franco?
James Franco.
Franco.
Yeah.
Franco.
Right. But
We
that
don't
was
say
a
his name
funny
anymore.
ass movie, and it made it all the much better to watch it knowing they're not putting it in movies. I'm like, I'll fucking stream that shit. I need to see what was so bad, and it was nothing.
He was so upset that he was going to be in that movie. They hacked into them and stole up their. That's why the movie theaters, all those emails they got leaked
Yeah.
and movie scripts, and you find out, oh, these actors are assholes, and these are getting screwed over because of these people and all this and all that other nonsense because they had hacked in to try to stop the movie from getting shown. So what they did was they just released it on streaming everywhere all at once.
that's-
Like, not in
that's-
theaters, but you could just go and buy it.
No, that's just like that goes to show you the type of person that Kim Jong Il was. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I mean, if you look at like the records that came out of North Korea, it was like he had the longest golf shot. Like he had he bowled like he played a perfect game of darts. Like it was just
Oh yeah, it was something like his first game of golf.
His
shot
first
like
shot,
a
hole in one.
he shot like a 22 because out of the 18 holes, like that many of them were holes in one.
He got 16 hole in one.
I mean, if
Same
you're gonna
game.
be a dictator, you got to be a dictator for all of the right reasons. You got to
Every
break
single
world
home,
records, bro.
every home in North Korea had like a government official attached to it. And, like every home had like a painting of Kim Jong Un on
Yep.
like a fucking white horse.
But
I
they
was
wouldn't
like,
say anything about it. Every time they
Oh, there was
the
no-
news people
yeah.
would go and ask them questions. They're like,
There was no criticism of Kim
Yep.
Jong Il. There was none.
Nah, that's fucking wild, man. Yeah, well, they say that if you are somewhere where like a member of their family dies and you're supposed to be mourning,
Yeah.
they like scan the crowd to see who's no longer crying.
Who's not crying hard enough?
like you
Go
have
to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking wild.
There was Saddam Hussein when he took power. There was something like that. People would stand up and like everyone that like was nervous was standing up in Parliament yelling that they supported him, and then one by one, his opposition like was taken out of the meeting, and literally you could hear the gunshots.
Yeah.
They were just taken out of the meeting and shot like right there in the building.
Well,
I mean, that's a way to get your
The
vote
moment
across
he
way you
took
want
power,
it.
he just like
mean-
nope, you.
Fuck.
I mean, it's known that Kim Jong killed everyone in his family that could possibly try to take over as
Yeah.
soon as he came in. I mean, famously, he had some of his family killed in airports where they had taught. They were filming this lady as she thought she was part of a game show where she would go up and do something in like public places
Yeah.
and like surprise people. So part of it is she would touch the person on their face and surprise camera, it's a joke, blah
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. They had her do that, but this time at the end, after they did it multiple times, they had given her poison. So when she rubbed the person's face, she poisoned someone in his family.
Holy shit.
So
There's-
she
there's
thought
vi-
she
that's
was
when there's a
filming.
video of it. There's a video of it. Yeah,
she
in the
thought she was
airport.
filming
Yeah.
a game
Yeah.
show, and what they did was they trained her to actually just be an assassin instead.
She was an assassin for the government of North Korea.
I
Yeah.
had no idea.
No fucking idea.
And those game shows in North Korea are legit.
Yeah, I'm not going.
You
Another-
imagine Bob Barker?
I'm not going at
Another-
all.
Price is
man.
wrong, bitch.
Another
Yeah, the price is wrong, bitch. But
another person in his family.
Drew
he
Carey?
Didn't, he didn't just shoot
Carey?
with a firing squad. He shot with a rocket.
Hey,
Gotta make sure he's dead.
I mean, they do
Yeah.
call him Rocket Man for a reason.
shot with a rocket.
Yes.
They gotta take it to 100. What the hell?
Damn,
They're
man.
playing Fortnite over there in North Korea. They're just hitting people with laser beams and shit.
That
I
sounds
remember
like some-
Kim Jong Il.
We also did Miss Creature Commandos. I never heard of those fuckers either.
I never heard that either. But
Me
apparently-
neither.
I just trust James Gunn. I'm just giving him the wheel.
Yeah, I feel like
Fine. Like do something with it. It's a
he's
pile
trying
of
to
shit
strike
right now.
gold with some unknown characters as well.
Unknown characters,
like the way he did
unknown
with the Guardians
actors.
of the Galaxy.
They're resetting. They're gonna aim with younger people because again, this is a 10-year plan.
Yeah.
If they go with the characters they have now, we're actors that are 40 and 50 years old. In 10 years, they're too old to keep doing some of the action scenes.
That was the problem with DC. Is like Marvel took its time. It built up its movies. It built up the goal for the Avengers initiative, and DC just hit the ground. It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, here's everybody.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have a team.
yeah, movie
Next year,
two.
next
Movie
year-
two. We got a team. Like what happened?
What? No, we don't have a fucking team. Like everybody you cast, I don't feel anything for them. No.
But I didn't see anything but Wonder Woman, which is a shame because Gal Gadot's a fantastic Wonder Woman.
Well,
Fair.
they're
Wonder
doing.
Woman
Fair.
2 was horrible.
Right, but I
It
don't think
was,
that was
it
her
was.
fault as much as it was the script because they had Pedro Pascal, they had Gal Gadot, they even had the blonde lady from Saturday Night Live.
I mean, Pedro can't not play a father.
No,
Yeah.
right, but like you have killer actors in there. You even had the other guy.
Apparently,
that they
his
brought back.
real first name is Jose.
Really.
It's Jose Pedro. So he's got the two most generic Spanish names ever as name one and name two.
I'm not even hating, but I think the script didn't do Wonder Woman justice. It was just bad. They
No.
tried to go.
Just a
No, it
bad
didn't.
script overall.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
up there for like one of the worst superhero movies in the last 10 years. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's up there with Morbius. Like it's bad.
Well, they're leaning into a Game of Thrones style thing with their Wonder Woman for
The
Paradise Lost.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
looks like a
If
good
they
show.
do a
Which
good
they
job
did-
with
That could be
that,
dope.
then that could be really
Which
good.
is interesting because they didn't mention Wonder Woman in that talking of it at all. They mentioned
Right.
the island, they mentioned the people, a power struggle. They didn't even say Wonder Woman at all when they
he's
mentioned that
building
thing.
up a lot of characters that aren't mainstream, and maybe that's the angle to go.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the main. I trust James Gunn because the Guardians of the Galaxy series is awesome. I'm super excited for Guardians
Yeah.
3.
Yeah, and
Super
that was a
excited
team
for
that
it.
very few people really knew much about.
I didn't give a shit about the Guardians of the Galaxy, and now I love them. I didn't know anything about them until this.
And the one thing he did say too that rang true was, it's the story first.
Yes.
So for him, he's like, it's not so much as what superheroes are behind it. He's like, what story is the most intriguing
Well,
to
that-
tell on the big screen?
That in particular
Right.
was actually a shot at Marvel because Marvel apparently some of the stuff that happens with Marvel is they have certain things that have to be in each story or script because that's the bit that carries over. So certain things are storyboarded and then you're like, here is 30% of your
Baggage.
movie. You got to make the other 70 to fit in here. So certain action scenes and things like that are already done. So that was kind of a shot at Marvel of like, hey, we're letting our writers and directors tell the whole story. We're not having these little bits and pieces sandbagged by you
Right.
jumping into our stories that we're going to have our people tell.
Yeah, for now. I mean,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, look, Marvel has
I mean,
had a tremendous
tell-
amount of
tell-
success too with their formula.
Tell 30 movies and shows that all interconnect and not have somebody have to put their thumb on the scale a little bit to be like, this has to go in this direction because the next thing after you is going in this direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. But look, they've been doing a good job.
Marvel's so big though that like you kind of like you get what you get with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and you
Yeah.
get like these certain movies where like the director just does his thing, he puts his own flair on it, and you're kind of like, ew, you missed the mark there. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but right now, like, I think they've been more on the mark than missing the mark.
Yeah.
There's been a couple of bad
the last
or not
year,
so great.
Yeah, the last year was kind of weak.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna call it weak in general, but like it's compared to like what it was earlier,
Yeah.
leading up to like the end of phase 3.
I
and shit.
expected it to be weak though. I expected it after the big
Endgame, the
climactic
dust.
2-movie ending. I figured it's gonna be a while before we're getting back up to that caliber of movie.
Yeah,
Right.
like the Endgame left this huge crater.
It did.
And now it's like we're trying to formulate. Okay, now what happens? Because we still have not fully developed Kang as the main villain.
It's
We haven't.
it's
And I
amazing
think
that
Quantum Mania is going to fill that void, and then also they're bringing back Loki season 2, where he's very specifically said in an interview, he's like, the Kang you've seen in Loki season 1 and the Kang you see on Quantum, they're two
It's
completely different characters.
Yep.
Because they're two completely different entities. Like, this is Kang the Conqueror, and this is the man. What are they called?
He Who Remains.
He who remains.
Okay.
So he's
Yeah,
going
there's
to be playing multiple versions.
There's multiple
of himself.
Kangs because even the He Who Remains that they used wasn't the normal Kang. He was a combination of two different Kangs, Immortus being one of them. Also, that they used to tell kind of his version of that Kang. So even if they kill off this Kang in Quantumania,
There's
you're
another
just gonna
Kang
have
coming.
exactly because there's
Alright.
multiple Kangs. You're talking there's an infinite number because he literally is his own army.
Shit.
Right.
So you have people that are fighting together, some that are fighting against themselves, and then them also intermingling with the heroes fighting against him at the same time.
So the big question is for Loki season 2. Is there going to be a Loki on Loki sex scene?
I hope so. I hope so. At this point, let's do it.
Well, with that said, Eddie, thank you. Thank you for joining us at the Sofa Kingdom podcast, where you can find us on all your social media platforms at,
Sofa Kingdom OFC,
and you can find us on YouTube at.
Sofa Kingdom Podcast.
Ian, take us away.
Hope you're quizzing everybody. Hope the quizzes are going well. I hope you haven't thrown out a lot of people in your life. I hope
Yeah.
you still have some good friends.
Or
around
throw them
you.
out. Throw them all out.
Or and if
Yeah.
you have gotten rid of them
Scrap
they
it all.
New year, new me.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, you may have to do that. You have to James Gunn your personal life. You know, if they don't know enough about the Sofa Kingdom podcast, get them out. They're not the type of people you need
James
in your
Gunn
world.
them. We
might
need
have
to
to.
turn that into a thing. Yeah.
We all sit around the family table and go, "Oh, I wish I could James
Yeah,
Gunn
yeah.
a few of you people. You know, get you out of here."
Or Robin Williams, a couple of you, right?
Oh wow.
Well, I mean,
wow.
Nelson already did it with Booster Gold. He didn't even let us get to Booster Gold, and he said, "Fucking end it."
That's right.
Oh,
Booster
yeah.
Gold.
Chris Pratt.
so
Chris
much
Pratt played Booster Gold.
so much respect to Booster Gold.
Wow.
I mean, the guy dies for everybody. You
So
don't even let us talk about
You
him.
want to spend time talking about a privileged man from the future? Go ahead, Eddie. Bring it back. Hit the starting music.
Booster Gold.
Or Swamp Thing.
Swamp Gold.
Swamp gold. That's a different kind of gold.